Hey everyone, Fina here from Fina Reads. Welcome to a new video, something very different this time. As you can see, I'm definitely not in my usual setting. My audio is probably not quite as good. A, because I'm not using the microphone that I usually use, and B, because you might hear some background noises. Because I'm in an RV. We own one for like 3 years now. And we've been camping on average once a year, although we haven't been camping for 2 years now. So we were really due for a trip, and I'm super excited that we got out this weekend. Mr. Josephine is currently emptying the gray tank. If you don't know what that is, no worries, you don't want to know. So if you hear clunking, I apologize, that's him. So, I thought I use the time to make this traveling/reading vlog, show you a little bit about what we've been up to. Spoiler alert, it was nothing. I'm sitting on the RV campground because it's so beautiful here, and just walking around on the campground and reading. Like, that was the plan. And by the way, Puppis is here too. She's a tired pup. It is an exciting adventure for her, so she is all tired out. We are on day 2, spending a long Memorial Day weekend. We left on Thursday, so we took Thursday, Friday off. Yeah, so we left on Thursday, and right now it's Saturday. It's the first time I'm capable of checking in, and we're leaving on Monday. So first of all, a little bit of the traveling itself. So we're living by LA, and we drove up to Sequoia. We are not in Sequoia National Park. We're a little bit south of that, but we are at 4,700 feet elevation. And California is fascinating in that. If you haven't been to California before, or if you've only been in one spot to California before, one of the things that the state is really fascinating, I find, is that it has everything. So we live near a city in a very suburban area. We are relatively close to the beach, but on the way here, we drove through basically desert, large cattle fields, large agriculture stuff, orange trees, like orange tree farms. And it was a lot of, so once you get over the first mountain towards inland, once you get over the first mountain, you have flat land for a couple of hours. And then when we turned, we went into the mountain range, basically. So California is everything from mountains to flat land to ocean, everything. And we basically, well, we didn't pass an ocean, but we went through the flat land and through mountains. And it's just a beautiful view. I love the drive. Yeah, and then we arrived on Thursday. It was a bit tricky to get the RV set up. I might, if I don't forget, I'll take a picture on how crooked this floor is. So it took me an hour to level this whole thing. But then we enjoyed Thursday afternoon in total quiet. There's a little stream here on the side that is going by, so you can, with a little waterfall, so you can hear that water going by and you can hear the waterfall, and it's just so serene and beautiful. And then if we look out of the RV, we see mountains. So they're called airheads. I don't know if that's the viewpoint from here that is called airheads, or if the mountains are called airheads. I don't know. But you see snow-covered mountains, and it's just gorgeous. Yesterday was also one day just sitting here doing nothing. We were, I was reading books. Mr. Josephine was reading news and like that kind of stuff. And little squeaky ears missing Mr. Josephine right now. So if you hear the squeaking, that's just a little one telling me like something is off. Daddy's not here. So really, we did nothing, and we just walked around the property doing nothing. We played some games and just watched nature. There was a deer family here, like literally right next to the RV, and I've never seen deer that close. That was really, really neat. Oh, my puppy wanted to hunt them. Other than that, we're just literally sitting here enjoying the weather, although it's a bit chilly. I've read books. That's all I've done, and I can talk about that a little bit as well, because at the end of the day, this is a book vlog, right? So I should talk about the books that I've read so far. And then I'll probably will check in maybe one more time before we leave. We'll see, because it's full now. So we had Thursday, Friday, we had the campground pretty much for ourselves, but now it's full. So last night, a family of a lot came over with multiple sprinters and multiple cars and a tent, whatnot. And now over there, a family with like 3 or 4 tents moved in. We have neighbors now. which is fine. Memorial Day weekend, that's what you would expect, but it's definitely louder and fuller, so I have to see what makes sense and if I even get any more reading in with the noise level here. All right, neighbors leaving early. It's Sunday today, right? Yeah. I wanted to continue yesterday talking actually about the books that I've read, and then kind of got interrupted, and then the afternoon was done. We were playing just a little bit Magic the Gathering. If you know the game, we were playing Pioneer. If you don't know the game, don't worry about it. But then it was kind of late already, and we just settled down. We were watching Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and just chilling. Thankfully, people around us were pretty quiet too at night. You know, sometimes when you have a lot of families, you're like, okay, they're partying all night long. They didn't. So that was really nice. Another gorgeous day. We had a little trip with the pup. We just went a little bit down and then a little bit up. I mean, it's all mountain, so it's all just downhill or uphill. She is now settled in and doing her I'm sleeping all day rhythm thingy magic. So the big thing, as I said in yesterday's video, right, is doing a whole lot of nothing, and we're really good at that. I wanted to talk a little bit about the books that I've been reading so far, and since the trip is nearly over, probably that I've been reading throughout the trip. One of the things is I've been getting more into audiobooks lately, just to get used to them. So usually audiobook for me is just very simple stuff or books that I've read a lot already. We are listening to Harry Potter because Amazon came out with a British version narrated by Stephen Fry, and I had 7 credits left, so I snacked them all up, and we listened to the first book. On the drive here, we have like 40 minutes left, so we have a little bit for the drive back, and then we'll probably start book 2, or we'll see, whatever we're listening to. So it was kind of fitting that we watched Harry Potter yesterday. That was on purpose, I guess, but we will still finish the audiobook, and it's kind of interesting to see which scenes they changed a little bit and what they didn't put into the movie and what they shortened and all those kind of things. I always find it fascinating. But Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or the Philosopher's Stone, is just a nostalgic read and movie and everything. I just enjoy the Harry Potter world, and we are both fans of going to Universal Studios, to Harry Potter World and whatnot. Anyway. And then before the trip, I started reading The Secret of the Thistle, which is book 2 in the Rainfallen Saga. Book 1 is Salt in the Wound, because I'm reading this series. If you've watched last week's video, you know that this is an anticipated series because the 3rd book is coming out on June 4th, so soon. So I've been reading book 2 in preparation of book 3, and I've been waiting till now so I can then immediately read book 3. Long story short. It was amazing. I gave book 2 5 stars. Book 1 was, if I remember correctly, 4 stars when I read it back then. But it's a really cool premise, as in it's a post-apocalyptic world, but in a medieval setting. So it's Arthurian saga inspired and whatnot, and has a lot of medieval things in it. It is set in Britain, and it's just full of amazing fairy tale creatures, fantastical creatures, and a lot of really old lore, and it's just fantastic to read that stuff. His writing is great. I really love his way of describing things. If you go on Goodreads, I can leave the link down below. I highlighted some notes in the first part of the book, and then I just got so enthralled in it that I completely forgot to continue highlighting sentences that I liked. But he has a very interesting way of writing it, and I love it. I think it's beautiful. It's not purple prose or anything, but he just describing things is, look at the comments and you see what I mean. It is really fun, but it is full of trauma. Every character is dealing with something. So there are a lot of mental health topics in there. There's alcohol and drug abuse in there. So it is very heavy on that, and there's no character that gives you a break. Literally everyone has something going on. So, you know, that's that. And it can be a little bit much at times. Like, it would be nice to have a normal character in there. But on the other hand, it's kind of nice to see that you have very rough people, broken people, and how they deal with that and how they come out of it or not. So I'm really excited about book 3, which seems to go into a slightly different direction than I thought it would be, but that's okay. I'm totally up for that. And then the other one that I've read that I started here and finished here It was a short novella. It's called Veronica Ruiz Breaks the Bank. Veronica Ruiz Breaks the Bank, which is a short novella in the Finlay Donovan saga. It's about her, Finlay Donovan's sidekick, actually, and how she got connected with her. That's a short novella in the Finlay Donovan world between book 3 and 4, and I've read up till book 3 right now. Book 4 is on its way. I found it on Pango Books, which I'm really excited about, for a really good deal, I have to say, given that it is a book that was released this year. So I had to read the novella in between. At least people say you should read the novella before reading book 4. We'll let you know once I read book 4 if that's actually the case. And then yesterday, after I finished that novella, which was before lunch even, I was sitting there, okay, which book should I read next? I had 2 other books that I had in mind for this month in general, but specifically for that trip. And one is Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhaus, also a series that I'm currently anticipating the 3rd book of, which is coming next month, if I'm not entirely mistaken. Again, watch the video from last week. I'm talking about that as well. So I brought Black Sun with me, which seems to be a camping trip book now, because I read it the first time when we were on our first real RV trip, and we were just spending Thanksgiving weekend out, and I was reading that book at that point. So now I'm here bringing this book with me again and hopefully reading it again. And the other book that I was thinking about yesterday was Mother May I, which is a thriller that is read by the Bookish Drummers Discord Thrill, Chill, or Kill Club, is I think what this thing is called, where they, at the beginning of the year, said, these are the 12 books that we're reading, 1 each month, and then you can join, buddy read them with the folks. And I've been wanting to join some of them already this month, somehow never got to it. But this time I checked my library. They have it as an ebook and as an audiobook. So I'll probably get the ebook version of it. So what I then just did yesterday was, while Mr. Josephine was taking a quick nap, I grabbed Black Sun, actually, because my library app, which is on my iPad, first world problems, was next to the bed where he was sleeping. So I couldn't get to it. So I started reading Black Sun. And I read that first chapter. If you've read Black Sun, you know that this chapter is bonkers. I mean, talk about a book opening that completely leaves you with your jaw on the floor and you're like, what the hell is happening here? It's like, this is ridiculous. We got distracted, we played Magic the Gathering, we did another little walk here on the campground, and then it was already evening, we watched a movie, and then I didn't want to read anymore, really. This morning then, when, like, I usually get up a little bit earlier, so I was sitting on the couch, I was like, I didn't have my book light with me, so I couldn't continue reading Black Sun. But I had my iPad then with me. So I downloaded Mother May I from the library and started reading that. So I'm reading them parallel now. So, you know, problem solved. I didn't have to choose. I'm just reading them both. I might check in one more time before we leave. We'll see how things go, how loud the kids are. There's one kid that doesn't have a volume level, that is just loud the entire time. So we'll see if that kiddo is a little bit quieter, but it looks like they're breaking down the tents, so maybe they're even leaving already. Who knows? Real quick check-in, otherwise I will not get to it anymore. So we just came back from a little walk with the little one. This RV park is amazing. They have a bunch of just small little hidden things, little lakes, little waterfalls and whatnot. And the sun is hot, and now we will sit in the really cold shade with a cold wind to read a little bit more. So I'm going to grab my books and we'll sit outside, like right down there, and get comfy and read a little bit Mother May I, is that what the title is, I guess, and see how she's doing. She just left the event, so we'll see. I'm home safe and sound. The traffic downhill and back to where we live was actually quite nice, even though it is Memorial Day today, and Mr. Josephine was a little bit worried that we might stand in traffic for, I don't know, 2-3 hours. Thankfully we didn't. And yeah, no, like turning everything down was super easy. We got the RV back in the lot. We got everything out of the RV. Everything is stowed away already. It didn't take too much time. So that was really, really great. I'm a little bit sad that I'm at home because it was really nice up where we were. But, you know, that's what it is. We are already thinking about our next RV trip, so hopefully we can squeeze that in one of the weekends at some point, maybe a little bit closer than like a 4-hour drive across the mountains, up and down. That was steep, yikes. But Car did great, RV did great, Mr. Josephine did amazing, so I'm super excited about that. From a reading perspective, I finished out Mother May I this morning before we left. So while, you know, I always get up a little bit earlier than my husband, so I was able to finish that before we got really going. It was good. It was not great. I will obviously talk more about it during my wrap up, but I was actually really interested in what she did. Like midway through, kind of the kidnapping was solved, and then she showed the aftermath of it, and I actually really liked that. It didn't turn out to be that great, and I think she actually could have done more with less. Yeah, kind of, you know, it was a good read. I'm glad I joined the buddy read. I'm definitely going to read some more of the comments on the Discord over at the Bookish Drummer for this one. And then the other book that we finished on the drive was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. We finished that audiobook. I mean, as I said, we only had a couple of minutes left. And then we started the Chamber of Secrets, and we got, I think, like 23% in. I'm really enjoying Stephen Fry's narration for Harry Potter. I think he is doing an amazing job. I don't know how often I've read this book now and watched the movie and whatnot. It's just nostalgia, really. That's why I enjoy it. It was so funny. This time when we listened to the audiobook, there's a scene where I was like, hey, if you know, it's the scene with the mirror. I was like, why is the mirror now here? Shouldn't it already be where the Philosopher's Stone is? Because that one definitely is already in hiding. And, you know, and I never realized that. And the funny thing is, we also watched the movie at the same time, and Mr. Josephine had the same thought when that scene happened in the movie. He asked the exact same question. I never realized it before. He neither, and he watched the movie quite a few times too, so I thought that was kind of funny. So that leaves us with Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhaus, which I started, but honestly, I only really read the first chapter while we were there, because then I switched to Mother May I and actually decided to finish that one, which is fine. So I will continue reading that now, because book 3, I actually looked it up now, it comes out June 4th. I pre-ordered it. I hope it arrives roughly at the same time, although it's not a bad thing because I still have to read book 2 before I have to then read book 3. But that's going to be both end of May, June type of situation probably. That's it for my traveling and reading vlog. I would love your thoughts on this. Is this something you enjoyed? I mean, I probably can do better things with the editing and whatnot, so I will figure that out as I go. And it's the first real vlog that I'm doing like this, but do you enjoy something like this? Would you want either not only travel, but maybe weekend vlogs as well? Is this something that you're interested in? I like watching them from some creators, and I'd like to see just what they're doing over the weekend. You know, are they making their coffee? What are they making to eat? I don't know. But if you're interested in vlogs like this, and if you enjoyed me talking through various things and showing you like other things other than just specifically books, let me know in the comments. Long story short, let me know down in the comments. With that, thank you so much for joining me on my little RV trip and for listening to my book ramblings as always. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and that I will see you soon with one of my next videos.